the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. This is Monday, May 1st. If you have any questions, comments, come up to that podium, give us your name and address, and tell us what's on your mind. I'll ask for a roll call, please.
Peter,
Here.
Gottler,
Here.
Lupa,
Here.
Laporte,
Here.
Paul,
Here.
Wolf,
Here.
Watt,
Here.
all present, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'm going to ask for a motion to amend the agenda and add item D under new business, set public hearing for MEV Structures Incorporated.
So moved. Support.
Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The item D under new business. Consent agenda number 4, City Council minutes of April 17th and 25th. Regular and special meetings, recommendation approve.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? For proclamation tonight, we have National Police Week and Peace Officers Memorial Day. National Police Week, May 14th to the 20th. Peace Officers Memorial Day. Whereas the Congress and the President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and May 14th to the 20th as National Police Week. Members of the City of St. Clair Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of all those residing in or visiting St. Clair. It is important that all citizens know and understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of their law enforcement agency, and that members of the St. Clair Police Department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression. Whereas the men and women of the City of St. Clair Police Department unceasingly provide a vital public service to this community, it is important to always remember Police Chief John D. McDonough, who gave his life in October 1962 while serving and protecting his community. Therefore, be it resolved that I, William Cedar Jr., Mayor of the City of St. Clair, Michigan, along with members of St. Clair City Council, do hereby proclaim May 15th, 2023 as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week of May 14th to the 20th as Community Police Work. So proclaimed. Chief, would you accept this on behalf of the... Thank you, sir.
Can we say anything? It's important, this is an important day that we remember every year because of the ultimate sacrifice men and women across this country make for the communities they serve. Most people don't realize that over 700,000 men and women wear this uniform every day and kiss their spouse and kids goodbye and don't go home. So that's what this day is for, to remember the ones that don't go home. Thanks.
All right, let's go to number 6, Resolution 2313, Cross Connection Program. Bishop.
Okay. So we have in front of you a resolution, number 2313. This was brought to our attention because of an EGLE requirement, which has passed regulation that all commercial and now residential residences that have backflow regulators, we need to pass a resolution identifying that we will follow the laws and regulations in our local ordinance to enforce a local cross-connection control program. In layman terms, a cross-connection program is if somebody has a backflow regulator, so basically irrigation systems, we have to ensure that that's working properly. And so in order to do that, the city has been under contract with a company called BSI for the better part of 15 years, 16 will be next year. And they've always operated under a commercial contract. Now by law, the residents, and we have about 400 in the community that need to be tracked, tested, and so BSI will be then responsible for contacting them through letters, letting them know that they need to have their backflow regulator tested. BSI will visit their residents. They will conduct the test. The resident will then be required to pay $14.95 for the results of that test to make sure it's there. BSI will then send a compliance report to us, so we have that on record so we know that we're in compliance with EGLE. Why is it important and why we have this now is because as part of our permits for the water treatment plant, EGLE is requiring a cross-connection program. So As checking in our records, we had a local ordinance that covered the commercial side of backflow regulators, but residential side needs to be now covered as well, and that's what this resolution accomplishes.
So, Quentin, just a quick question. It says that we have 6 months following the approval to get these inspections completed.
Mm-hmm.
How often do residents have to redo this inspection? Is it annually?
Annually. And within that 6 months, BSI will be the one responsible for sending no less than 2 letters to residences, contacting them that this is going to be done.
Okay.
And then they actually start making calls on that list to schedule that.
Do they have to enter the home, or only if the backflow preventer is in the home? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
either or, yes.
Yeah,
sometimes
okay.
also, yes. That's why they have to schedule,
Mm-hmm.
get access to the property.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Make a motion to approve.
Support.
All right, motion made, supported, questions? All right, call the roll, please.
Galler,
Yes.
Kufa,
Yes.
Laporte,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Bowles,
Yes.
Lot,
Yes.
Cedar.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
All right, thank you. Go to number 7, Reports of Administration. Mr. Bishop, you have anything?
Yeah, I'll make it quick. I would like to mention Tom Fountain specifically from our water treatment plant. He has been on top of things when it comes to the water treatment plant expansion and his communication with Eagle. I think it's just worth to give credit with somebody that I know is working extremely hard behind the scenes to make this run smoothly. The cross-connection program itself had a lot to do with Tom Fountain's efforts to communicate directly with BSNI, provide them with the information, help them write now the cross-connection manual that is submitted to Eagle for the water treatment plant. I just thought it's very important that we give credit where credit is due, and in this case, Tom Fountain did an excellent job. I'd also like to mention that today we interviewed a young gal from SVSU. She's a biology major, and she would like to intern at the water treatment plant and the wastewater treatment plant. One, it's very unique to have somebody at that age, young age, want to involve themselves with municipal work. It's an internship that I know the city hasn't taken on before, but I think if we look at a long-term talent recruitment strategy, I think internships should be more common, and we should look at young people wanting to enter into the profession industry. And if we can give them an experience and give them value, that's just one more hook in them as they graduate college and they start looking at, because they're a commodity, right? So when they start looking at their options, we want them to think St. Clair, to move here, to build homes here, and to ultimately work for the city. So I'm very happy that Ms. George is thinking about taking us on as an intern, and she'd be starting June 1 and run through August. Her primary responsibilities would be doing the lab work and under the direct supervision of somebody at the water treatment plant. I think that's just a very cool thing.
Is she a resident?
She is a Marysville resident, graduated from St. Clair High School, part of the band and part of the swim team. Her name is Kara George.
Excellent person.
Good. Sounds like
Is this a
good
paid
idea.
internship?
It's up in the air, but yes, I'd like to make it pay. I'd like to structure it under a seasonal employee. A seasonal employee's coming right around $13 an hour, and I think it's very doable for the 15 or 20 hours that we would get her time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all I have.
Any questions for Mr. Bishop? Okay, let's go. Mr. Attorney, you got anything?
I have nothing this evening, Your
Anything
Honor.
for Jim? All right, Chief, you're up.
Sophie, if you want to come up here. In 2022, the St. Clair Police Foundation developed a scholarship to assist St. Clair High School seniors in their furthering education if they chose criminal justice or law enforcement. They named the scholarship after Chief Barnum, and it's kind of like a living testament to him for his 30-year service here. And this year's recipient of $1,000 from the Police Foundation is Sophie Kenyon. Sophie is going to pursue an education and a career in criminal justice and criminal psychology. She has promised not to come back after graduation and analyze me, but we wish you all the luck. We're proud of your accomplishments. I'm sure your parents are proud of you and your school's proud of you. Congratulations. I do not have a check, but I have this for now. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Also, tonight, the mayor and I have talked. I talked to Councilmember Paul, Superintendent Bishop, and a lot of phone calls as the weather was breaking, but it's not breaking anymore. But golf carts are becoming very active. I put a copy of Mr. Downey's letter to then Mike Booth regarding that. And are they allowed in the city of St. Clair? Qualified, yes, they are. But they have to meet the requirements of the state's TR 52 form, which is headlights, taillights, brake lights, insurance, all that stuff. Driver's license, moped licenses do not count. And the whole purpose of that is we don't want a bunch of old golf carts with orange triangles on the back of them running around town. The only issue we do have, after talking to Councilmember Paul, they're not allowed on M roads, not even on the shoulder. They can cross it, but they can't ride alongside it. So anybody who has a golf cart on the south of the Pine River cannot come to the plaza, and anybody on the north side of the Pine River cannot get south of the Pine River because it's M road, M29.
What if you live on the M road?
You can cross it. That's all. That's the best I can tell from reading that law. I don't know if Mr. Downey has anything better, but
Oh, that's right. That's right.
you can cross it.
It's a matter of crossing a state road is all that's permitted.
So if the nearest street is quarter mile and you live on the M road?
I suppose if you're making a direct route to the city road, that's going to be a matter of interpretation for
Right.
the authorities.
The problem with when they did that road diet, there is no shoulder on that bridge. So the only way across that bridge is to drive in a lane of traffic. And that's obviously illegal, so. And I've gotten several calls about side-by-sides. Side-by-sides go over 30 miles an hour, so they don't come under the low-speed vehicle rules. And they need to be licensed as a motor vehicle.
I had a phone call this morning from a constituent, and he told me that that's what you told him, so he went to the Secretary of State, and they don't hand out licenses for the side-by-sides anymore. They need to get special approval from the city. I don't know how true that is.
I don't know how they don't meet low speed, they don't meet golf cart.
Right.
Chief, I would just add that low speed is defined as between 20 and 25 miles per hour. It cannot be faster than 25 miles per hour and still be considered a low-speed vehicle that's capable of being licensed in the city.
I assume the city can give permission for, but if you give permission for side-by-sides, then we're going to have four-wheelers, snowmobiles, we're going to have everything in town. So that's,
Is that true for e-bikes too?
no, there's no regulations that I know of for e-bikes right now.
Anything else, Chief? Thank you, sir.
Am I done?
We'll go to D, authorities, boards, commissions, committee chairs, council reps. Anybody have anything to report tonight?
I do, Your Honor.
Yes.
The community leadership team would like to encourage everybody to be out and about and explore your community on Saturday, May 20th for Be a Tourist in Your Own Town Day. Maybe discover something new or an amenity here that you're just not aware of. So again, that's Saturday, May 20th, and there's more details on stclairontheriver.com.
Thank you. All right, then we will go to number 8. We have no unfinished business. Let's go to new business number 9, special event, St. Clair Garden Club. Chief?
I received a request from them for their annual St. Clair and Bloom Garden Walk. All their paperwork's in. They just have some parking issues that we need to take care of on North Riverside for the 2 addresses up there, but everything's in order, and I recommend you approve it.
Moved.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Chief, B, special event, Blue Water Offshore, 29th.
I've received a request from Blue Water Offshore for their annual race weekend on the 29th, for their 29th annual. It's going to start that Wednesday, the 26th. We'll shut down the road. Races will be on Sunday. I think time trials are on Saturday. Also, part of your packet is a lease for the park, and we're going to extend the vendor hours. I recommend we approve it all. It's no different than last year, correct?
Correct, there have been no changes.
Are we approving the lease and the vendor hours all at once or separately?
I believe you can, Attorney Downey.
Yes, it can be approved all at once.
So moved.
Support.
All right, the motion is made and supported to approve the lease and the extension of the vendor hours. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Hoopa,
Yes.
Laporte,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Folds,
Yes.
Lot,
Yes.
Gottler,
Yes.
Cedar.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Boards and commissions, I have a couple appointments with your approval. The DDA reappoint L. Johnson and Lynn Grover, each for a 2-year term expiring December 31st, 2024, and Tim Burns for a 1-year term expiring December 31st, 2023. And the Housing Commission reappoint Candace Nagel to a 5-year term expiring June 1st, 2028.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We will go to D, set a public hearing.
Yes, council received a memo today because the application was received in full on Friday, so it didn't make it into your packet. We have received an application for an industrial facilities exemption certificate, and as part of the Public Act 198 of 1974, there's a required public hearing, and I recommend that be held at 7 o'clock on Monday, May 15th.
So moved.
Support.
Questions?
Will we get a copy of that in our next packet then, of the 14-page document?
Absolutely. An
Thank you.
electronic copy was sent this afternoon.
Yeah, I saw it.
But yes,
I
you'll get a
like
paper
paper.
copy.
Thank you.
I know you guys like paper.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go to claims and accounts for April 20th and 27th. Any questions?
Hearing none, Your Honor, I make a motion to approve as presented.
Or,
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go to number 11. Public questions, comments limited to 3 minutes. Any non-agenda items, anything on their mind tonight? We'll go to number 12 then. I did get a text from my sister-in-law because she's helping organize this cemetery walk, and I said I'd read it, so sit back and relax and enjoy the soothing tones of my voice. The St. Clair County Genealogy and History Society, along with the City of St. Clair and the St. Clair Historical Museum, are hosting a tour of Hillside Cemetery, May 20th at 11 o'clock. Rain date, May 21st. The tour is part of Be a Tourist in Your Own Town. Approximately 10 influential and interesting residents, from bootleggers to Civil War soldiers, will be highlighted by reenactors and storytellers, along with cemetery symbolism and traditions. The tour will last 60 to 90 minutes, and that is at 11 a.m. on May 20th. Anybody have anything?
The other special events this weekend?
You can handle that. I don't.
Saturday at 9 o'clock is the St. Clair Little League Parade and their opening day over at Legacy Fields. And on Sunday at 3 o'clock is Class of 24 Senior Cruise.
Thank you. Mr. Bishop, do you have something?
Class of 23
23.
Senior Cruise.
Getting ahead.
All those kids are like, what the hell happened?
COVID again. Okay. If it's okay, I would like to bring up this topic. Last week, we had a great discussion and plan to work on the road project, and we laid out with the recommendation of AEW to look at a capital improvement plan that looked at failed roads throughout the city. I think that's a great recommendation for us to follow. It gave us a 6-year plan under a budget. What I would ask to discuss, and I hope it's an appropriate time to do so, is if we are to move forward and to stay on the contractor's schedule, because as I know, contractors right now are starting to book MDOT projects, are starting to bid on them. I have Bob Beath has gone out, and with the help of Clerk Sturdy, they have prepared a 2023 street resurfacing bid for 4th and 5th Street. And we discussed interior roads. We talked about why it's important to attack the failed roads in the downtown area. And if we were to accept or to approve or give us permission to put this to bid, we could not only open the bids by March 15th, we could come back that night at that meeting with a recommendation to move forward with 4th and 5th Street with a vendor, with a named or a recommended vendor. And so There is a sense of urgency. I would like us to discuss it, and I'm seeking your permission for us to seek bids so we can add that 4th and 5th Street to the contract. Now, I stood here before the group yesterday and said, we can add it to the contract. And I feel that that's still possible to do. But to keep it clean, to keep it transparent, to keep open bids open, and to keep it competitive, we went along with the decision to seek your permission to open up a public bid for the interior roads of 4th and 5th Street. So we would allow competitors to come to the table and to bid on that work. And I think it's the cleanest option, and I think it gives everybody a fair chance at that work. Christian B. Haas, we have good news. It's looking like it's going, we have a deadline of today, so I can't speak in the affirmative. There's still a couple hours on the clock. But it's looking good that Christian B. Haas would accept a special assessment. Talking with Attorney Downing, I understand that there are a lot of moving parts and mechanics to setting up a special assessment. I would not be recommending that this evening. I think we can do that by the 15th. But what I would like to do is open up for discussion and seek your approval for us to move forward with a bid for 4th and 5th Street.
You didn't need a motion for us to do that? Can we do that at this
I
time?
think it's the council's prerogative if you'd like to, yes.
Okay, I was just seeking extra permission if needed. If
Yeah.
not, great, we'll get on with the program.
So,
Is anyone opposed?
John?
Opposed.
I got a question and a statement. First of all, both Quentin and Annette have been fantastic answering my questions. I've got a lot of them. Either I'm texting them or emailing them, and if you need answers to your questions, you just need to reach out because they've got the answers. Now, what you just said, though, about the 500,000 or the 3rd Street, 4th Street, or 4th Street, 5th Street in March of 2024, I'm still confused. Help me. Because there's still that $500,000 left that we haven't used.
It's for this year.
I think you misspoke. Did you say?
You said March.
You said March, but I think you meant
Oh,
May.
I'm sorry.
May 15th.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. May
Okay,
15th.
so May
I misspoke.
15th.
This is
Gotcha.
So our next meeting.
It's for
Gotcha.
this budget. Yes, we
Gotcha.
want to spend down a zero balance.
Yeah, when
Sorry
you
for
said
that.
March, you confused me. So
Sorry about
we're
that.
good.
got March Madness on your brain.
Got March Madness, graduates in 24. It's just one of those
Are you more comfortable?
I'm sorry. I'm throwing you under the bus. Sorry.
Are you more comfortable if we made a motion to that effect, or you just?
Are these the roads we want to do?
Yes.
Okay. The second question is, are we going to get a price for each of the roads, or are they going to just be billed as the materials to do those roads? Are we going to say we can just do 4th, we can just do 5th?
The bid package will be based on the length of each road, and so we can build it as Project 1, Project 2, and
Okay.
as a combined cost.
So that if we're looking at the funding and we say we don't have enough to do both, we can separate it out and do half or something.
We could do that, yes.
Okay, and I have a question that you probably can't answer tonight, but it has been on my mind lately. Prior to getting the road millage, how much money were we spending from the general fund on roads annually?
Oh, pre-millage?
I just wonder, like, if we decrease the amount that was coming out of the general fund once we got that millage, or if that funding remained at the same rate, and if we should expect to be putting something from the general fund into our roads at an additional rate than we've been going.
It's a good question. We can find out that information. I know in the previous year, maybe even 2, there was additional money spent, so call it 800,000, 100 to 150,000 was spent from the general fund to.
Well,
tackle
we
the
still
program.
have the federal funds from the COVID funding that we got, and we have a nice, healthy fund balance.
And
Maybe it's-
the Magnum money.
Maybe it's time to spend some money on roads and get us moving farther forward.
I agree.
So I'm happy to see these numbers. I say go for it.
Okay, did we make a motion to?
I will.
Okay.
Sure.
And I was,
Aaron, go ahead.
it's my understanding with what's already budgeted to be spent this year, we've picked a couple of roads that definitely in need of it, and we are making an educated guess at the amount of roads we're gonna put in that bid package will fit within our budget, and it just makes sense, in my opinion.
You're right. So this is the conservative approach. I think it's the fiscally responsible approach to say, we know about how much we have left over, and we have a ballpark about how much road we can get done by choosing 4th and 5th. I think that's the responsible bit. If we were to add, there's a section of Cass, that could very easily be added to that and we get a whole number. There's multiple ways to go, but I mean, my recommendation is take the fiscally responsible approach and then bid it out, see what the number comes back, and we know we have fund balance to cover any overages.
I would think we would want it broken down in 2 to 3 block increments. I mean, some of that stuff's triage, some of it's just crappy, some of it's a little different. So, I mean, if we're running into issues where you get 2 big bills that are both 450 grand and you got crossover, where do you start, where do you stop?
Right.
So, you know, instead of taking full lengths, plus those roads cross over more than one ward. So you've got other issues to look at if we're trying to balance how much money's been spent in each ward. So I would, whichever the contractors would advise, the minimum for your expense would be, whether it's 2 blocks or 4 blocks, or look at those roads and at least break them into one ward or another ward, and then break them in half once you're inside the ward at least. So you got a better idea.
The length you're looking at for 4th and 5th is Clinton to termination at Vine, or just north of Vine,
Because
right?
Orchard to Vine was done a few years ago. So
Orchard,
Clinton
so
to
it'd be,
Orchard,
okay, and then 5th would be
is
Clinton to
End.
the end, yeah, the dead end, yeah.
Yes, and so roughly 5,200 feet of road.
Almost a mile.
You're right, a mile.
All right, so did someone make a
See,
motion?
then, I think Aaron's already, did you make the motion?
I will.
Go for it.
Motion made.
Support.
Any questions?
So to repeat the motion, it's the direct administration to move forward with the additional 2023 local street resurfacing bids.
4th and 5th Street. Do I need a roll call on that? All right, better have a roll call. Herb Downey.
Everybody's getting thrown into.
Laporte,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Bulls,
Yes.
Swat,
Yes.
Gottler,
Yes.
Lupa,
Yes.
Cedar,
Yes.
carried.
Thank you. Any other mayor or council comments, announcements? All right,
Hearing nothing else, Your Honor, I make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for coming. Congratulations.
I get home, I'll just eat.